Hey guys, Professor Bill, Comic Book University, and Godzilla destroys the Marvel Universe. It was I. There's nothing spectacular about this. This is more of a comedy book than anything else. You probably understand that once I get to the people who made this book. Oh wait, let's get to the people who made this book. All right, let's go from here. So the writer is Jerry Dugan, and the artist is Javier Garin. Jesus Aburtov and Andrew Dahlhaus do the color art. Dalhouse, however you pronounce his name, and VC's Travis Lanham on letters. Cover art, Mark Brooks, and there are a surprising number of variant covers. I guess it's not so surprising when you consider the book was originally like this series, Godzilla Destroys the Marvel Universe, is the follow-up to Godzilla Verse, right? Had versus the Fantastic Four, had versus the X-Men, had versus the Hulk. The I think the absolute best one, Godzilla versus Spider-Man, right? The ones that just got me like I was screaming about how good they were, and yeah, this is what comics were missing. Well, now and I think those were they all done by no, they were done by different people, but like Benjamin Percy did at least one of them. I think he did more than one of them. Anyway, um, yeah, each one is done in the vein of the writer, and they chose Jerry Dugan for this. Yeah, I don't know, man. Um, Dugan has a very particular ability to make a lot of funny things. Deadpool appears at the end of this, and it told me everything I need to know about this series going forward if I couldn't already figure it out before the first title page, which is actually about halfway through the book. So let's get talking about this story. Mole Man is in his underground subterranea area, right? I think that's what it was always called. And he finds this staff. One of the moloids gives him a staff that is apparently part vibranium and part unstable molecules, which is odd, right? I'm pretty sure it wasn't even Ant Man who discovered them, was it, or was it? I don't know. I thought it was Reed Richards who discovered them. Anyway, whatever. It was one of those two who discovered them. I think it might have actually been Pym. Anyway, so this is funny. They and not necessarily a good way. The whole time, Reed and Wakanda, Black Panther, are trying to figure out what the staff is made of. But Jerry Dugan gave us the answer in the first page. It might have been like the second panel. So remember the main thing that I've taught, or I'll teach it again because it was taught to me this way. There's a very fine line between running the main character. No main character in this, so I guess we can just say the main plot. If the main character of the comic book does not know what things are, and the writer, or excuse me, the reader is able to figure out what's happening first, then the main character looks dumb. If the main character figures things out long before the reader can, well, then the reader just feels dumb, right? This is so clearly in the first way, where these people have no idea. The world's smartest people have no idea what this thing is, but we know exactly what it is. And it's frustrating when you're trying to, you want to kind of scream at the camera, at the book, the people, this is what it is, so they can figure it out. But at the same time, I think I'd have to care more about the book for that. I'm not saying this is a bad book. Only three people died in this. Remember, it's Godzilla Destroys the Marvel Universe, so I'm imagining everybody, for the most part, is going to die in this universe. This particular Marvel Universe, not the main one, clearly, because the characters are just not acting normal. They're making silly jokes. There was a really funny line in here. The thing got thrown into a building, and it was the Daily Bugle. He's saying to Godzilla, after he just bit Godzilla, the thing, Ben Grimm, bit Godzilla. Godzilla goes, hey, and throws him. Just, yeet. And he's like, hey, didn't your mother ever teach you not to throw rocks at glass? Anyway, went right through, landed in the office or so of J. Jonah Jameson. As the thing goes running out, and Jonah's like, what the hell's going on? The thing goes and yells, "Can you believe that Spider-Man drank the lizard formula and then turned into that big thing?" Of course, with Jameson, he's just sitting there and goes, "I knew it!" Silly little funny things. It's the only thing that actually made me laugh, even when Deadpool was talking in this. Um, I'll tell you at the end of this which of the main characters got killed. Fantastic Four is in this. The Avengers were in this. Very interesting version of the Avengers. Thor comes down. He gets swatted by a tail up into orbit. He's got to be rescued. There's blood corpuscles all over the place floating in space. Yeah, big departure from what happened in the Godzilla versus, right? I think it was specifically Godzilla versus Thor. Godzilla didn't stand a chance. So I don't know. I really do, guys. I really do. I try to like some of these comics. I'm glad that I got to go about 20 pages or so before I saw that Dugan was going to be writing this. Because I just thought to myself, this guy is the most hit or miss writer in all of comics history, as far as I'm concerned. 50% of the stuff you love. 50% of the 50% of the stuff he writes, you're just like, what the heck were you thinking? And unfortunately, to me, this is a lot closer by a long shot to the what the heck were you thinking than anything else. I think I would rather see this more seriously. It's Godzilla destroying a Marvel universe, but if I'm going to watch it, I want to watch it actually look good. Captain America actually did the best here. I'm going to give major spoilers now, including which three characters died. Captain America actually did the best here against Godzilla because Godzilla, he breathed his radioactive breath at Cap, and somehow it shrank enough, like the shield was absorbing it, or just it is what it is, and then it was redirected back at Godzilla, blew a hole open in his throat. Cap's like, "Oh, I feel so bad." There was a funny scene where Godzilla just wrecks house and kills a Celestial, and Reed Richards just like, "Nobody move," because Godzilla was gonna walk away, and Mole Man's just like, "Get away from me, beast!" and blasts him in the back. Godzilla turns around and slashes the look like, "I'm a whoop your behind right now. Go get me a switch off the tree. Think I'm playing? Go get me that switch." So, and then of course the Fantastic Four had to react at that point. It was funny, and yes, it's probably something that idiot Mole Man, who I love by the way, would do. So that's fine. I actually like that. But Captain America at one point winds up getting himself killed along with Sue Storm and Reed Richards. So those were the three who died in this one. So it said that the Fantastic Four and the Avengers were essentially decapitated. And yeah, it's indicating the leadership. Really good use of words there. I like that one. It sounded poetic. I wish the rest of the book would have matched that ending. Anyway, there wasn't there was a moment of sadness from Johnny Storm, but not really anything else, which is really sad. But yeah, it is what it is. Thor apparently ran away. I'm sure he'll come back with some big gigantic guns or something. But anyway, this comic book was an all right plus. There's like an A plus, B plus, C plus. This was an I plus. That's what I'm going to give it. It was better than it was bad, but make no mistake, there's a lot of bad in here. I was personally hoping for a little bit more serious to show some shock and, can they actually defeat this beast? They're not going to be able to, but you're kind of hoping still. Instead, all this is going to be is what are the funniest ways we can have people killed by Godzilla? I don't know if that's going to appeal to me too much. I'll still be reading this because it did still provide me with some laughs, but like I said, guys, it is what it is. Anyway, I'll talk to you all later. Like the video, watch an ad. Professor Bell, should you get this book? I mean, if you want to giggle at a couple of things, if you're looking for a book that you're simply not going to be able to take seriously, and there is no way to take this seriously, then by all means, go and grab it. Otherwise, eh, check out some people's reviews, like mine. It's fine. Talk to y'all later. Like a video, watch an ad. Professor Bill, Comic Book University. Class dismissed.